Hello YouTube, Intuitive Edge here. Today we're going to look at the new FBI Director, Christopher Wray. The FBI has been under some heavy scrutiny from Congress and both the right and the left, and we have a new FBI Director. So I want to look at what is he, who is this person, what kind of person is he, how is he going to conduct himself? What is his leadership style? And will he restore faith and trust in the FBI and ultimately the justice system of the United States? So here we go. We're going to look at Christopher Wray specifically. So give me a moment while I shuffle up the cards and we'll take a look at him. Okay, I think we're good here. All right, so we'll cut the deck. We'll look at Christopher Wray. So the first line we're going to look at, who is he as a person? What kind of person is he? How does he conduct himself? Kind of thing. The second line is going to be, the second line will be, how does he conduct himself? What's his leadership style? And the third is, is he going to be able to restore faith and trust in the FBI and ultimately the justice system? So let's take a look at what we've got. So the Nine of Swords reversed, who is he as a person? This is an interesting card because it's reversed. This is the worry card. This is the card of worry, distress, fret. So he may actually be, he could have some concern over his new position. I think the next few cards will tell us a little bit more about what that concern is about. So I'm going to wait on those to see what else tells the story on that one. How will he conduct himself? Okay, this is interesting. This is the Knight of Swords. Again, this is the Herbal Tarot. But this card here is very much a card of action, a card of taking action, a decisive card, moving forward. And it's a card of mental acuity, being really mentally sharp and mentally quick. This makes me feel like he probably is, obviously he is very bright and very smart, but it feels like he's really intelligent, like really, he's got a good head on his shoulders. Very bright, very smart, very direct. I think his leadership style is going to reflect that as well. He's going to be very direct. I don't think he's going to be one that will leave you guessing as to what he means, or he doesn't strike me, this card doesn't strike me as someone who's vague or, beats around the bush. This is somebody who's very direct, very straightforward, and very cut and dry. To him, right is right, wrong is wrong, and that's how I believe this card is saying that he's going to have that type of leadership style. He's going to get in there and get the job done, and if it makes some people upset, well, so be it. He's doing what he feels is right. That's that kind of feeling with that card. How will he, Christopher Wray, restore faith and trust in the FBI and the justice system? Now this is interesting because I've got the Moon card, and this is a major arcana. This will carry a lot of weight in this reading. This carries a little more weight than the minor arcanas do. This, again, when you have the Moon, this is a kind of about the hidden, the unseen, kind of the deceptive type of qualities that come around. And for me, this is, I think he's got some real hurdles to climb with regard to restoring faith and trust in the FBI, because people on basically both sides of the aisle have been upset with the FBI over the last few years in one form or another, whether, one group is upset and another group is cheering, and then 2 months later it flips, and the people that were cheering are now upset, and the people that were upset are now cheering. So it's been really tenuous, I'll say. And so with this card, I feel like there's a lot to look at and a lot to overcome. This is going to be a big challenge for Christopher Wray to restore faith and trust in the FBI. That's going to be, if he can pull that off, that'll be a real hallmark of his ability in his career path right now. But that might be a real challenge. Let's take a look at, again, he as a person and what that worry or fret card is about. Okay. All right. So next we have the 6. This is a card about letting go and moving on. Now this is interesting because you've got the worry card with the kind of emotionally having to just release and let go and walk away and move on to something new. So he may be worried, or at least have had some concern about, taking this new position. That was a big step. And it feels like there was some concern about taking this new path and this new venture and moving in this new direction. He may have had to let go of some other things. And I don't know what he did really before this, but there's just a little bit of a feeling of loss and having to move on and move forward from something. And again, I'll do one more card and we'll see, hopefully it'll complete the picture as to what we're looking at there. How will he conduct himself in the FBI? How will he lead the FBI? Now, this was a very direct, very straightforward. You got the Knight of Swords, and now you have the Page of Swords. Pages and knights are both messengers. This is interesting because the Page of Swords is also very mentally quick, very acute, very discerning. This is a card of really needing to get your head above the fray and keep your focus. And this feels like his leadership style will be one of really getting down and focusing in on what needs to be done and what, I think this feels like he'll be prioritizing a lot, especially at the beginning, in terms of how do we, what's the most important thing? What do we really need to be focusing on? And he's going to hone in on what he feels that the FBI needs to focus on. And again, the FBI there's so much that they do. It's not just, one issue that we happen to see in the news. But this feels like he's very direct and he's spot on, and he's going to really hone in on what he feels is important that needs to be done. So that's actually really good because you want somebody in a leadership position that's actually going to take that role seriously and run with it. So that's a good thing. We'll see what happens, but that feels like a good thing. The third question is, will he restore faith and trust in the FBI and ultimately the justice system? Now, I have to say, wow, we have 2 major arcanas on this line, which really strengthens that this is a very important question to answer. This is the Hermit card. It came in reversed. The Hermit card is all about introspection, looking within, doing your own inner work before you try to, fix things. You got to really clean your own house, so to speak, and look within your own self and your own life. So as it pertains to restoring faith and trust in the FBI, they're gonna, if they want to do that, they need to really look at their role, the FBI. What is their role? And they're gonna have to really kind of maybe weed out things that don't serve them, that don't forward their vision and goals. this is really interesting, because you've got kind of the looking over, like, deception kind of with the moon, the intuitive, just kind of dark, deceptive feeling with that card, and then you've got introspection. So they're going to have to look at some of maybe the crevices and corners of the FBI that maybe people don't want to go there. But if you want to really restore faith and trust in that investigative body, they're going to need to clean house, so to speak, and look within and weed out their own corruption and weed out their own excuse the phone, hold on a minute. So they're going to have to look at that in greater detail if they want to really restore faith and trust in the FBI itself. They may have to fire some people. They may have to, rearrange people's jobs, or, do some house cleaning, some reorganizing. It's going to take some work. The fact that these are major arcana tells me that that's actually a really big job. I mean, if they want to tackle that, that's a noble goal, because there's a lot there to clean up. That's my opinion. That's what I feel from it. Okay, we're going to look at these. Last bit here. So this is really nice. He's got a major arcana. This was on the question of who is Christopher Wray as a person. And the fact that he's got the sun on his line tells me that he's a good person. Now, whatever he was worried about, or whatever he felt like he had to let go of and move on from something, but he's got the sun on him, which is really positive. So, overall, I think he is going to be a decent leader. I think he's got integrity. The sun tells me he's got integrity, and he's got an honest character about him. So I don't think there's any concerns for him as a person, as a whole. So that's actually really nice. This is a positive card. So that's good. Well, how will he conduct himself? Leadership style, again, I got direct, focus. And again, he's got the Six of Wands. This is really good. This is a card of prestige, and I have a feeling that he is going to be able to have a good rapport with the people that are working for him. I think, there's always a period of adjustment when you get a new boss coming in, but it feels like that people around him are actually going to respect him. I feel like he's going to garner respect. People are going to like him. And I think that if you can do that will boost morale. If you get somebody in there like that people actually respect and want to, if they have respect for somebody, it boosts morale. And with this is a card of prestige. It feels like that the people around him are going to buy in with him and share his vision. And I think he's going to have people with him on his side that want to follow his vision and his direction. So that's very positive. That's very good. And will he restore faith and trust in the FBI and the justice system? Now, this is interesting. This is a card of treading lightly, being careful. You can't just go in like a bull in a china shop and blow everything up. You have to use tact and diplomacy. Sometimes you have to go a little slow. You can't just go in with a nuke and blow everything up and start over. You have to take what's there, work with it, make changes, and just like incrementally move forward. And so with this card, this is a card of having to really be careful. And these two cards, though, were so strong and so powerful about needing to really weed out kind of the corruption and really do some honest soul searching in the FBI with regard to how they are going to restore the American people's faith in the justice system as a whole and in their outfit. But the fact that he's got this, you got to be careful. He's going to have to be, there's going to be some things that are rather sensitive or delicate that he's going to have to really be careful with. I do think he's up for the challenge, but it's not going to be an overnight clean house, start over. It's going to be incremental. It's not going to be a one and done quick thing. So if he can hang in there and just, be focused and methodical and direct and get in there and just really work with it, I think he'll be successful. But it's going to take tact and diplomacy. And I do feel like he is the kind of personality that wants to just charge in and fix and do it a different way. But he may have better success if he's able to kind of rein that in a little bit and just be incremental with his approach. Okay. All right. So last card, 10 of Wands. This is just the overall. 10 of Wands is our overall card. This is a card of carrying burdens, being kind of heavy laden with burdens, taking on a big task. And as we know, this Mr. Wray has a big task ahead of him. He's got a lot cut on his plate, and there's so much involved with bringing the FBI together, bringing morale back up, restoring faith and leadership in the FBI and in his leadership. So he's got his work cut out for him. This is a burden card. This is like you're taking on a big chunk, and he definitely is. If this card was reversed, it would signal that the burden is lifting. So, I mean, this just feels like he's taking on a lot. And so, as we know, he is. So we'll just see kind of how this plays out. It does feel like he's overall with the Sun card, he's a good person, and I feel like he'll do a good job. Especially if he can really solidify the people around him that respect him. I think he'll do well. But he's got some work cut out for him, and some of it's going to have to be done pretty delicately. So anyway, that's all I've got on Mr. Wray. We wish him the best of luck. He's got his work cut out for him. If you like my video, leave a like and subscribe if you want to. I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.